Good evening, Mr. Fonseca. I'm Jayanta Karunaratne, and I'm an MBA student from University of California. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to interact with you to understand your story about Vision Care business. You have started a Vision Care group of companies from scratch in 25 years. Can you briefly explain how you have started your journey up to today's scale?
I was born in Kaluttara. My father was a principal of schools, my mother was a teacher, and I'm a fourth in a family of 5. So I did my primary schooling in Kaluttara, and then after scholarship I came to Royal College, and I'm very thankful to my school. And then my father wanted me to be a doctor. At that time we were not very serious in studies. And then I started doing optometry. Optometry was a paramedical thing, so couldn't do medicine, so I did choose something related to it, that paramedical, and it was a 2-year diploma that time. If you can't be a doctor, then you have to do other things. There was a private medical college at that time, but I couldn't afford to. In 1985, 20 years when I started doing my optometry, so I graduated in 1988. The best students in that batch, so I was fortunate to point as a tutor into the same school of optometry. So with that I managed to get few exposures outside of the country. At that time I saw for the conventional optometry, thought I can do something more than that. So I just wanted to do something helpful for the public and at the same time to do a better service. So from younger days I was a bit of a perfectionist. So I want things to happen. I don't want dust to be there and things happen in a right way. So I did part-time work, which was I made my initial capital by working part-time. So we were paid hourly. That is how I made my first capital. In my home in Kaluttara on weekends, I started doing a small practice of my own. So it was like testing of eyes and at the same time manufacturing spectacles, that is in the sense fixing the optical lenses into a frame. So both I did in a smaller way. End of 91, I started a small shop in Colombo at Norris Clinic in Norris Canal Road. My initial capital was, for that I could remember, it was 90,000 rupees. That capital only I was found by doing part-time work.
Well, you mentioned you were working in National Eye Hospital at your young age. And when you were leaving that, your stable job to unknown venture, what kind of family resistance you faced?
I have to stress and tell that I have not missed my childhood. So it was a balanced thing, like say it's a family, fun, work, all that we were enjoying life and at the same time I did business. I got married to a batchmate of mine, she's an optometrist. So both of us were working, so that was an advantage. And then my brother was a computer programmer at that time, so he helped me in our second in support in giving a software to the billing systems and all that. And then from the beginning we were using the new technology.
Well, you said you started Norris Opticals in 25 years, 3 staff members. I just wanted to know what kind of motivation given you to start optical business?
Only one employee when I started. The second employee who came in was a classmate of mine. He's still working with me, and we were doing the wholesale business and retail business all together in a very small scale. So I think the focus on customer care was our main reason for success.
When you start in your business, what kind of hurdles and risk you have met? And what kind of risk aversion you have used?
The journey was not at all smooth. I can remember registering a company itself was like a bit of an issue I didn't have any help, so I can remember I'm going to the business registration and we're opening a tax file. Onwards everything was challenging, but we never thought that was difficult. There were resistance from existing optometrists, and we have to balance that side, like say the existing people. So instead of fighting with them, I joined with them. whatever possible help that I could do to the existing optometrists. Moving from Norris Canal Road to Ward Place was, I think, the main hurdle. Buying the Ward Place property in 1996 was not very easy because banks were not willing to help. That was the biggest challenge. But I was lucky to get a good place. This Ward Place building and purchase of land with an old building, and the building was neglected buildings. I didn't pay for the building, but we renovated the building and we started business. That was actually a turning point. Everything was new and I took all those challenges positively. Then the next biggest challenge was to go to the branches, and then we first put our first branch in Kurunagala. And then since we were doing the wholesale and retail business both, we were improving the retail business and at the same time we improved the wholesale part of it. Now for us to do a shop, we have everything. We have sister company who brings in frames to Sri Lanka, and we have a sister company who brings in equipment. We have a sister company who does the lens part of it, and all of small things. But other thing, I think I trusted my staff very much. When you say, okay, you carry on with this, so I let them a free hand to do. In 2007, our next hurdle was to make this building. So that took a big challenge. Main hurdle was that first loan application. First facility of 6 million was a big trouble. There's one guy who helped me actually out of the way from DFCC Bank, Mr. Karunaratna. They heard my story and they said, okay, we'll help you.
To make this kind of successful business in 25 years, you must have had a vision. And last 25 years, you are keeping the same vision or it has been pivoted along the time?
As I told you at the beginning, my vision was to do the best possible solution for my customers. In 91, we don't know business much. By year 2000, we wanted to be the best in town. 2000 to 2005, we want to do the best in Sri Lanka, and then 2010 we want to be the best in the Southeast Asia. Proper structuring is happened between 2005 to 2010, and then the war came to end in 2009. So with that freedom, the last 5 years we developed into Jaffna, Northeast. Actually in 2004 we have started a small business in hotel business, like some bungalows. It's going in another direction, so we were doing that. And then we have a optical business plus 2-3 other small businesses, diversification. Like we into property. It's like we have VC Capital, which is developing into property development. It's not like blocking out and building houses, but we do some commercial buildings, and sometimes we rent the buildings to our own companies and outside. And then we see villas and resorts, which is our hospitality arm. If you say the vision-wise, we still have 5-year plans.
When expanding a business, diversification plays a vital role. How do you see this and what you have done so far?
Diversification in the optical business itself is like now for a layman who is coming in and he chooses a frame and then he think, right, I get a pair of glasses. But there are a lot of things happening in the back door. That is like when you come and choose the frame, price wise from 1,000 rupees to say maybe 200,000-300,000 rupees, like brands like Ray-Ban, Cartier, or what we call generic, the cheap ones. So that mostly done by one of our sister companies called Global Vision Lanka. So the frame is one part. Then you have to get your eyes tested. So that's called refraction. So that is done by either people who come out from Colombo Eye Hospital, the optometry school, or we have our own academy. The lens part, the lens. So making a lens is not very easy. It's happening in a very sophisticated manner. It's a very complex thing. And I'm happy to say that our lab was accredited by a company called Essilor. Essilor is the world's biggest company that they were trying to come with us in partnership for a long time. And then in 2013, we have gone with partnership with Essilor France. So Sri Lanka is in the Essilor, like the world's biggest lens, this thing. So we give a very good lens for that. So it's a part of it. And then we need a lot of instruments for testing and for new showrooms. We have a company called Philobiotics Private Limited, which is specialized in instruments, so especially in optical instruments and some other optical accessories. So that is the model that I told you before, like they were looking at now. This is a very good model to duplicate in other places in the world. Right? Say we have looked at all the aspects of this thing, technical aspects, and we are not into medicine or surgery, but all the technical part related to the eye we looked at. So that is the specialty of ours. So we are unique in that sense.
What are the best practices you have followed in the last 26 years?
Entrepreneur is always very inquisitive. So like the thing is, you are looking at something and trying to make something out of it. Say you want to make something better, or say you look at that opportunity to say I can make some money out of this. Exactly, I don't want to say it's only money part of it, but something you can do something out of it. How fast you say in our case, like say we have to talk with other upper principals in the world and go to other countries, and in a very short while, maybe in 2 days, we have to make decisions which company is better than the other company. You have to have a lot of experience and good judgment, talking to people to judge, like say now if you're going to sign with the agreement for so many number of frames. How you become successful or become entrepreneur is mostly by the focus. You have to be very focused and you have to manage your time well, very observant what's happening around you. And bringing in the newest technology is what our success is.
Can you just tell us what is the biggest mistake you have done in your business?
I'm talking to others that you always have a second line. For myself, I didn't had my second line behind me. Say second man, and I'm still running at CEO. The excuse that I say is I couldn't find the right person. But if I really wanted, I could have found the right person, which takes a lot of my time. I have better things to do than getting involved in the day-to-day operation. So that is, I think, I should have done. Not that I have not planned, but I'm not brave enough to take that decision, have my second line next to me and train.
To success business, human resources is one important factor. So in your initial stage of your business, you had 3 staff with you. And how did you manage to find out the right mix of people for your business at the initial stage?
It's not very easy when it comes to different kinds of mentality. So you have to have a balance, and then constant monitoring and encouragement, and then managing the key people in business. It's tough. Now we have been a small business, became into large category, and then from there to become a corporate is not very easy. Now actually next 5 years my aim is to develop that corporate culture in my business.
Do you have any plans to go public in one day?
A lot of people say you have to go public, right? But actual sense, if you look at it, is like you go public because of 2 reasons. One is to find money and bring in professionals. I mean, like outside management. There are minuses also. So like say you're responsible, you get like say throughout my business was never be a headache for me. So if all depending on our second generation, our children, whether they will take over proper, so we will run as a family business. I don't believe in going into public company, only way to survive. No. So if you have a proper structure and management systems and right people at right positions, we can manage. Definitely we need to have a proper management skills and right managers at right positions.
Finally, what is the advice you would give to upcoming entrepreneurs?
There are 2 ways to look at it. One is like if you're positively looking at it, and Sri Lanka has, like if you look at the developing countries, there is an immense opportunities in Sri Lanka. How you choose what to do, and you have to be different. Don't copy someone else and you never be successful, right? So you have to look something different. Say if you do a restaurant, you have to do it differently, because otherwise people will not come to you. One thing is, if you think I need a lot of money to start a business, no. You need a good idea, good concept, and very strong mind, and that I can be successful. But it won't happen overnight. Now, if you look at, you want to become overnight a millionaire, it'll never happen. So if you really want to work hard, but if you start a business, you can't give up also. If you're starting a business, it grows. Whether you like or not, if you are managing it proper, it grows. So you have to have a strength, courage to grow with the business. So for younger generation, it's like the biggest problem that we have is there is a lot of negativity in people, and there are a lot of bad stories that you hear which are not true. If you are happy of what you do and then think positive, you can do wonders. Whatever the small thing that you do. Positive side is like, if you like in the whole world, the individual small businesses do very well. If you look at a 10-room small hotel, you can do very well, right? But then in 5 years, if you want to do 100 rooms, you can't. Other thing is the management of money. Like a lot of people start doing business without a plan, and there are a lot of people who advise now. You get a right advice. So, and I don't say that you don't have to think big. You have to think big, but proper planning.
What can you comment on work-life balance?
Work-life balance is very, very important. If your family is not happy, you are in trouble. So you can't do work in peace. As I told you from the beginning, even like working for 14 hours a day, 15 hours a day, you can find time. So how to find time is like, now if you travel to work 4 hours a day, you can't have a work-life balance. So you spend a little more and you more close to the work, so you can have a life-work balance. Always I was close to my work. So I never use the time traveling. So just after work I'm at home. So I have life. And then the quality time. Quality time in the sense you go home with all your problems, you can't have a peaceful life. So you have to be very, that is what I say, very focused. Then you peacefully, you finish your table and you go home. And then when you go home, you are at home. So you don't take my work home. Not that I don't work at home, I work at home, but again in peace. If you plan proper, you will not get into trouble. What I say is success means not if you have a lot of money, you are not successful. You have to be successful and you have to be good in society, in the business world, and as well as spiritually also, you have to be a little bit a better man. If you are successful in business and successful in society, and as well as success in your emotions, in your spirit, otherwise it will never work.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fonseca, for giving us this opportunity and sharing your valuable thoughts and insight with us. Wish you all the very best in your future endeavors.